So a while ago I started sharing and talking with some friends about how my favorite spot in the house is my laundry. I often find myself sitting here for way too long. I don't know what it is about the laundry. I just feel really chill in here. You can hear the laundry. It's like that grey noise, and I think no one else really likes coming in here because, you know, it's a bit of a mess and there's nothing but work in here. There's no pleasure that anyone else would want to come in here. I come in here, I work, they get clothes, they leave, but I just like it. It's fun. And often I sit here and I might sing, might listen to a book or read a book or research or pray or just be quiet, and I like it. It's good. So recently I was playing my guitar in the laundry and I made a joke saying that, you know, it'd be funny, I could do a show called Live from the Laundry. So what would it be like if I was live from the laundry? So here I am in my laundry. It's a bit of a mess right now. It's pretty bad. It's, you know, got like there's my dog over there. Got some baskets. Got some other junk. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But that's okay. It's it'll get there. It goes through its ups and downs just like our lives, and sometimes it's a bit more ordered and sometimes it's a bit more chaotic. And I've kind of just learned to accept that. Okay, we have what we need. Just lean in here on my trusty sock box. So that works. So I was thinking today, we were talking about at our Bible study in the midweek about Aaron and Hur and how they upheld the arms of Moses when Joshua and his army were fighting the Amalek and his army was like, yes. So they were fighting, and it was Moses upholding the rod, and it was like the banner over the army of God. And later on Moses would say, the Lord is my banner. And when they were fighting under the Lord, under his banner, under his might and power, they succeeded. And when they were just fighting by themselves, they didn't do so well because they weren't really an army. They were people who made bricks, did things in Egypt, and now they're wanderers, so they didn't have much going for them yet. We'll see later on they would become a mighty army, but not yet. So anyway, so the Lord has told Moses to lift up his staff where the people could see. And when it was raised, they would be winning, and when it wasn't raised, they wouldn't be doing so well. But his arms grew weary from being held up, so, you know, Aaron and this other guy, Hur, we don't know much about him, but he came out and he was holding his arms up, and they held him there, and it really moved me because it said, and they held his arms up until the sun went down. And I just thought, like, that is really what we're called to do. We're called to support one another. We're called to uphold people in their struggle as they're seeking to follow the Lord and to do what he has asked them to do. And they held him there, and even though Moses was burdened, they joined him in that burden. And even though it would have been wearisome for them also to stand there holding arms up, they stayed there. They stayed there to the end. They stayed there till it was time for quits, and they didn't quit beforehand. And I think sometimes in this life we can get very zealous about helping people. We go, yeah, I'm gonna help this person. I'm gonna be in there. They're going through this trial. Maybe they're sick, and you send the meals and do all this. But sometimes these trials are going for a while, and then you get tired. You grow weary just helping, supporting. Maybe you grow weary in praying, and I think the Lord wants us to stick it out until the sun goes down. He wants us to bear the burdens with other people. And it got me to thinking about bearing people's burdens and how we need to share our burdens. No one can bear a burden that they don't know is there. And I was talking to a friend tonight, and it's a new friend, and I'm enjoying getting to know her, and we're just sharing a little bit about our lives and our stories and our struggles and our burdens. And it got me thinking about the need for vulnerability. Just to be open and honest with one another and share our struggles, because these things, they're not what define us. Our struggles, they don't define us, but they are a part of us. They're a part of our life. They're a part of our experience. They're a part of the road that the Lord has us on, that we may be brought closer to you. I was listening to this sermon today by Paul Washer, and it's funny because Paul Washer, he gets a bad rap. People think of that like the shocking youth message, and they just think, this guy, he's just a shouty preacher. He's like, he's hardcore. and then maybe they don't like him for that. But he's actually really just like gentle and soft-spoken and just very pastoral. And I really like that. Anyway, I usually listen to Alistair Begg. He's my jam right now. The accent. And he's just humble and funny. But I was listening to this Paul Washer sermon today, and he was talking about how God was creating weakness in our life, because the weakness is what drives us to Him. And that's really what it's about, isn't it? That's our goal. It's our prize. It's our reward, that we would be pushed towards Him, that He would be our all in all, and that we would be with Him forever, and that we would love Him, and that we would seek Him. And our weaknesses, they help us with that. So we don't need to be ashamed of our weaknesses or our vulnerabilities, but just know that He's in control, and He didn't make mistakes. He didn't make mistakes when He made me. He didn't make mistakes when He made any of us. He knows. He's got us under control. So if we're to thank God in our weaknesses, if we shall be like Paul and boast even more in our weaknesses, then we need to be vulnerable. We need to help one another. We need to ask for help, that we may love one another, bearing one another's burdens in love, as the scriptures say. And don't be embarrassed when you need help, because we all need help. We all have our own weaknesses. And like it says in 2 Corinthians, we have this treasure in vessels of clay, jars of clay, so that it might be known that the power comes from God and not from us. It's not our own. We're just clay, just mud, and I love it. Oh, I love it. So the laundry's a mess. I had a good night. Tomorrow's a new day, and this is me live from my laundry.